Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I first want to get into the issue of economic analysis. As I know you're all aware, the President has issued 2 executive orders requiring the agencies to conduct economic analysis, and the Office of Management and Budget has issued directives and guidance on how to implement that. But ironically, independent agencies such as yours are not subject to those requirements or to those executive orders. And I know that each of your agencies has said that you're going to follow the spirit of those orders, but in December of 2011, the GAO found that, in fact, in the rulemaking under Dodd-Frank, the agencies were not following the guidances put out by OMB. And in its December report of this year, it found that the OCC and the SEC were getting there, but that the remaining agencies still, a year later, were not following the key guidances in the OMB that the OMB has put out for economic analysis. The GAO, frankly, I think was quite critical about that, as well as the fact that it found some coordination among the agencies, but that the coordination was very informal in nature, and almost none of the coordination looks at the cumulative burden of all the new rules, regulations, and requirements. So my first question I really ask is of all of you, can I have your commitment that each of your agencies will act on GAO's recommendation to incorporate OMB's guidance on cost-benefit analysis into your proposed and final rules, as well as your interpretive guidance? I guess I would not necessarily go through and ask each one of you for an answer, but if there was any agency here who will not commit to comply with the GAO's recommendation, could you speak up?
I'm sorry, what if I will confess not being familiar with the December 2012 recommendations, Senator. I mean, and certainly we do economic analysis both on a rule-by-rule basis and more generally. And to that we are committed. I don't know that we're committed to everything that might be in there, and I just wouldn't want to leave you with that impression, so I'd prefer to be able to get back to you after the hearing.
Okay, well, I've got the report here. I'm sure you can get a copy of it, and what the GAO is saying is that it's the OMB guidances implementing the President's executive orders on this issue, and each of the agencies tells the GAO that they're doing what you just said to me, that you're doing economic analysis. The GAO is saying that you're not doing economic analysis the way that the OMB has directed that it be done according to the guidance. So the request is that you commit that you will follow the GAO recommendation, that you simply comply with the OMB guidances.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to take that as an agreement that you'll do that.
Could I just, as I didn't want to leave it.
I guess maybe not.
Well, no, I just want to make sure, just as Governor Tarullo, that we didn't leave you with anything but the best impressions. We've issued, our general counsel and our chief economist issued guidance to the staff on all our rulemakings to ensure that our final rules do what you're saying. I think the GAO report also was looking at some proposals that came before, so we had to sort of address what the recommendations were, and there were proposals before that. We're also in a circumstance where our statute has explicit language about cost-benefit considerations, and that language we have is a little different than other agencies. So we look to Section 15A, I think, of the Commodity Exchange Act for our guidance on cost-benefit. But I believe and I understand that our guidance to the staff is consistent with the OMB, but recognizing we have to comply with the statute that we have.
I don't think that the statute you have, though, stops you from honoring and meeting the OMB guidances. GAO, as I understand it, looked at 66 rulemaking altogether that happened among the agencies last year. And that's a pretty significant amount of the rulemakings that were there. Let me get at this in another way. Can each of you commit that you will provide the committee with a description of the specific steps your agency is taking to understand and quantify the anticipated cumulative effect of the Dodd-Frank rules? Any problem with that one?
Sure.
Yes.
We're using data that's available, and where the quantification possibilities exist, absolutely.
All right. I see my time is up. I got some other issues to get into with you, but I appreciate this, and I just want to conclude by a statement. I think GAO's report was very clear that the kind of economic analysis that we need is not happening, and that's why I'm raising this. And so although you can explain that you have other regimes or statutory mandates, the issue here is getting at proper economic analysis as we implement these rules. And I think GAO's report is pretty damning in terms of the results they found on the 66 rules that they identified.